What's up, boys and girls? It's your boy TeKRaJ, and I'm back with another player review. Now, if you followed the channel in years past, you know that I'm a sucker for big arm quarterbacks that can make all of the deep throws and basically help me expose defensive coverages, especially when somebody's coming out in the same look over and over again. Now, in order to do that, you do need fast receivers, you need a predictable opponent, but most importantly, you need a quarterback with some high throw power. So when I think of high throw power, I think of this John Elway card. He has 90 throw power, but that's not what makes this card great. What makes this card great is the fact that he has pretty good balance and high 80s or mid to high 80s in both short, medium, and deep accuracy. Now, the quarterback that I see that everybody is going with this year is going to be either the base elite Patrick Mahomes or recently the MUT Superstars Patrick Mahomes. Now, we'll put these cards side by side. And this John Elway card, even when powering up, is usually going to be a lot cheaper than that Patrick Mahomes. As you can see right there, you saw the prices as of the editing of this video of that Patrick Mahomes. And side by side right here, you can see what the stats are. Now, of course, you can power up that Patrick Mahomes, but it's going to cost you a lot more coins or having to use one of your power up passes and still having to use a lot of coins. Now, a lot of other people are going with this Tom Brady card because of the accuracy stats, and as you can see right there, they stack up pretty well. Now, one of the things I did want to add was Bazooka, because I think that adding the X factor to this card is super important. Bazooka can be very overpowered, especially if you like throwing it deep. But to really add some flavor to this card, he has some really good both accuracy and just kind of precision passing and deep passing abilities. I didn't add any for this video because I wanted you to see this card without those abilities. So if you are a particular fan of one of those, then you can add it here. If I was going to add one of these, it would probably be Gunslinger and then some variation of the abilities that would allow me to get into the zone a lot quicker. But he has really good pass lead, pocket presence, and a couple of other dead eye abilities that I would probably use if I wanted to focus more on this card and I didn't focus more on player reviews. But let's get right into it. Now, of course, I like throwing the ball deep, but the other thing I like doing to set up those deep throws is corner routes. And if you're going to have corner routes, specifically on the sideline, you need accurate throws. And you can see here in the back of the end zone, outside the numbers, he can make all those throws. Generally, I'm never going to throw an inaccurate pass with this quarterback if I'm throwing the ball outside the numbers. Now, as you can see here, if you have a Tyreek Hill, a Torrey Holt, a Marvin Harrison, a Jerry Rice one-on-one on coverage, and your receiver has a step on the coverage, you're going to make that throw 9 times out of 10. As you can see right here, we have a receiver right on the sideline. So it doesn't just have to be fast receivers. Maybe you have 3 receivers that have great route running, that have great catching, that are really good at aggressive catching. You can do that. Maybe everybody's going back in coverage because you're taking the top off of the defense, so you want to scramble. You can do this. His speed is pretty much identical to that of Patrick Mahomes. But of course, what I like doing, what makes this game fun to me, is being able to throw the ball deep and take the top off the defense. And this card can do that consistently even. And that was one of a pleasant surprise that I had from this card. As you can see here, on this particular game, we were already in Bazooka. I had an out route, a corner route, but with Bazooka, one-on-one, man defense, my opponent calling pitch foot zero against me, no problem. He was able to do it. And what I wanted to show you here is that this wasn't just kind of like a one-off thing. Consistently, right there, he had pressure in his face, no big deal. And this is with no abilities, except for Bazooka on him. You know, continuing on right here, I had a receiver open deep to the sides, and I just chose, hey, I'm going to pick whatever, you know, the outside receiver on a lower route. You know, even if I'm throwing into the middle of the field, it just allows you to be so versatile. One of my problems whenever I was using the Baker Mayfield card is that I just didn't feel that confidence to make some of the throws. Either I was worried about overthrows, I was worried about underthrowing and potentially throwing an interception. But time and time again, I mean, with this card, I felt comfort. It was all about my scheme. It was about putting my receivers in the right places, and never did I worry that I was going to overthrow, underthrow, or just make any kind of throw that I didn't. Right there, you know, this linebacker can't lurk. I would have never thrown that ball with another quarterback, maybe Mahomes. And the other great thing about this card is even without Gunslinger, as you can see, a super quick release. You know, right when I see that opening in the defense or whatever the weakness in defense is, I can get rid of the ball even under pressure. As you can see right there, that throwing animation was for a deep ball. And even with his wind up, when he has to wind up to get it out there quick, I felt like it was super quick. Imagine if I would put Gunslinger on him. Now, the one thing I didn't test, and I wish I could have tested for this video, was whether or not adding Gunslinger to this card would have led to more like batted balls, you know, at the line of scrimmage. Because at least in Madden 19, I had that issue with quarterbacks that I added Gunslinger to. But especially with the meta this year being man defense, you know, or man blitzes, I should say, and like cover zero blitzes. You know, if you know how to block them, which is just motioning somebody or max protecting, this quarterback's going to be there. If somebody wants to drop back and cover 4, you can tuck it and run and have no issues. In the red zone, if you have some pretty good red zone plays, you can pretty much dot people up in the red zone with no issues. And you're doing this with a fraction of the cost of what you're going to be spending for Mahomes. You know, right here, this has to be super accurate. I'm doing an over-the-shoulder pass that's going to be deep. And as I said, I mean, I did this video and I tried to put myself in situations where I felt like maybe he'd throw an inaccurate pass. Now, the receivers that I have aren't really big aggressive catch receivers, but as you can see here, like if I were to have a Julio Jones, if I were to have an Odell Beckham Jr. or something like that, I could definitely take advantage of aggressive catches over and over. So it's a little surprising to me at this stage in the game that more people aren't using this card over the Mahomes card, especially because I feel like Patrick Mahomes' throwing motion takes a little bit getting used to. I like going up against people who have Patrick Mahomes because I know that they may not be completely comfortable with his throwing motion and I can exploit it with blitzes. But when I come up against people who have John Elway, I'm actually scared because I'm like, they're going to be able to get the ball out quick, and if I can't get my heat to come in, they're going to make me pay. Anyway, let me know in the comment section below what quarterback you're using. And if you are using this John Elway, let me know what abilities that you've put on him and what's really worked out for you. But also, let me know what other players you want to see a player review on. If you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe. We're going to try to be reviewing as many players as we can, and also reviewing, you know, I think the meta schemes as well. Make sure you follow me on Twitch. We stream very often on there, and you can see these things live and ask questions, kind of give me your feedback, and see kind of me throwing Stevies because I focus on the D-ball too much. Anyway, go ahead and drop a like on the video, but most importantly, take care of yourself.